My friend John Joseph sent me a message rather that he was in New York City, and he said the amount of migrants that have made their way to New York City, it's fucking insane. He said they're everywhere, and he said the mayor is asking people to house them in their homes.
Like open your door and just welcome them in?
Yes. Well, why don't you house them in your homes? Like this is how ridiculous the left is. This is their solutions for these problems that they've created. They made. First of all, they made New York City a sanctuary state, right? Or a sanctuary city. But then I think they rescinded that. I think the numbers were overwhelming. See if that's true. But let's just Google the first one. Sorry, Jamie. Eric Adams asked people to take migrants into their own homes. New York City Mayor Adams unveils plans to house migrants in houses of worship. Private homes are next step, he says. New York City will now begin housing migrants and houses of worship. Its latest attempt to manage the more than 72,000 people who flowed into the city since last spring. 72,000 migrants, and most of them illegal, right? Standing in City Hall Rotunda, flanked by dozens of religious leaders, Mayor Adams announced the creation of his faith-based shelter programs Monday and hinted that his next step would be enlisting private residences to house migrants. Private residents to house migrants in their homes. What in the fuck? This is an opportunity built on crisis, he says. Like, what? Okay. We don't need to read that.
I fucking hate
But look at that. This is an opportunity built on crisis. No. This is a disaster. The faith-based community has never been off our radar. They have always been part of everything we do here, especially when we need them to house people.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's nuts. They're fucked. So John Joseph said, he sent me this text message. He's like, dude, it's getting wild down there. It's really crazy. There's so many of them. He said they're everywhere. Because it's nuts. It's like they've essentially let anybody in. Like there's zero background check. Like what how much do they know about people? I know they've busted a few terrorists trying to make their way through. But how many do they miss? How good's that net?
I don't think it's as good as most people would think. I don't want to give anybody ideas, but I don't think it would be that difficult if you were truly motivated and put a little bit of thought into it to figure out a way to bypass border security.
Yeah.
But then there's also San Bernardino is a good example. People can get radicalized just through information. You don't even have to actually cross a border to have access to the information or ideology to become radicalized by it. So there's the issue not only of people wanting to do harm to the country coming in, but it's, that's the con, I guess it would be, of unfettered information to whatever type of information you may be searching for.
What do you mean by that?
There was a shooting, a husband and wife pair in San Bernardino. They went into, I had one of the responding officers on the podcast who actually ended up killing, I think it was the husband or the wife. But they went into I think it was a holiday-related party and just started going to town. They had never left the country. They were radicalized on the internet.
Jesus. Radicalized for what?
In this particular instance, I believe it was radical Islam.
So they were American citizens who were radicalized, and who did they attack?
Other American citizens.
In what was the what location? Where were they?
It was a Are you able to find it, Jamie?
Was it like a town? Was it? Did they go?
It was a
mall.
No, it wasn't a mall. It was the word is escaping me right now, but like a city center where there was an event.
Attempted shooting and attempted bombing occurred at the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino.
Yep.
Oh, this was a while ago.
Yeah, this was years ago. 2015.
Okay, I remember this. There was a dispute where Apple did not want to give them access to the phones.
Correct.
Yes, that's right.
I don't think Apple could give them access to the phones. I think they asked Apple to help crack the phone, and Apple said no. But
why didn't they just ask the CIA? Like, we got that.
I don't know if that.
They don't want to admit it. They're like, we look at all the text messages. We got all the memes. Look at these funny ones they send.
I don't want to let anybody down, but I don't know if the CIA is as capable as some people think that it is. Let's just say Jason Bourne is not running around out there.
Well, I don't think Jason Bourne's running around out there, but I do think they have surveillance abilities far beyond what we can imagine.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think for anything that they may bounce up constitutionally, whether they choose to respect the Constitution or not, if they choose to respect the Constitution, all they do is they outsource it to one of the allies who can then inwardly look, and it achieves the same thing.
Yeah. Someone from the intelligence community contacted Tucker Carlson, said that they knew that he was having Putin on because they had read his signal messages. He's like, you read my signal message? I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. They're encrypted. And everybody's like, oh, it's encrypted. Just tell the murder story here.
Yeah, totally. Hey, where's the body?
Where are the
where's
drugs?
Jimmy Hoffa?
What port are the coke coming in?
Anything that occurs on an electronic device that transmits, from my understanding, and this is looking back into how we used to find people in the early 2000s, whether or not somebody in real time is actually accessing that, I don't think because of the volume, but it is collected somewhere and can, in the rearview mirror, be looked at.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole thing that Snowden exposed.
Yeah.
And that's why they were building these massive data centers, the NSA was, or it still is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much going on that we just don't know.